Thank you.
Taylor?
Good morning.
Morning.
Wanted to give you a little bit of an update. As you're all aware, Managed Care has come to Iowa, started on Friday. In the process of that, Mahaska County Case Management has been working on contracts with all three of the Managed Care. Our primary one is AmeriHealth. Our 86 clients have chosen AmeriHealth as their Managed Care. In the process of going through all of that, about 2 weeks ago, I received a business agreement addendum from AmeriHealth, asking for some things that were not in their original business agreement, things talking about HIPAA compliance, encryption, what our liability insurance entailed. So I've been working with a couple of different committees, the HIPAA committee, our IT person, our county attorney, to make sure we're all in place. I was hoping today to have a revised business agreement addendum for you guys to all read and sign. I don't, because we don't quite have all the moving pieces together. But what I would like to do is, once I have all of those pieces together, send that to you all in an email and have you guys give Willie's permission to then sign it. I think what will happen is everything's going to come together probably pretty quick this week. And I really don't want to wait until the next board meeting to have approval, simply because right now we're in a transition period. AmeriHealth has been very accommodating with us getting all these pieces together. But I don't want to delay things unnecessarily should all the pieces come together this week. Do you have any questions?
No, I'm just trying to figure out how to do what you're asking without copying an open meeting. Yeah, so I don't know if we can.
I don't either. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, it's about not.
Is there a timeline on it? Is there a deadline on it?
Yesterday. Ideally, everything would have been in play by April 1, but AmeriHealth didn't get the contract to us, or the addendum, until the end of March. And we've been snagged up on a couple of things beyond our control that we're working through. Like I said, AmeriHealth hasn't demanded the agreement, but they would like it sooner rather than later. And I anticipate some pieces coming together pretty quick this week to get everything done. We've made significant movement already in meeting the requirements for the addendum, such as they originally wanted a one-day. When it comes to HIPAA, if we had a violation, for instance, with our PHI information, they had originally wanted a one-day turnaround. I've negotiated them to 3. They wanted a paper report within 5 days. I've negotiated them to 15 to give us time to put that stuff together. I know Darren, our IT person, has had a couple of meetings with encryption systems, and hopefully we'll have something in place by the end of the week. We do have recommendations by the HIPAA committee on today's agenda to move that forward. We're waiting on the, I forget what you called it, Sue, from the liability insurance people, telling us, outlining what our, what we have as a county to make sure we're covered in that regard. So.
Well, then you get this together later in the week.
Can I ask for an open meeting?
If that's,
Yeah, we'll get together again on Monday.
Okay.
Anyway, so.
Just try to keep you all in the loop, and if I get everything put together this week, ask for the open meeting on Monday.
We can just add it to our agenda.
Okay. Okay. All right. If you have any questions about that, I will tell you that we also have a business agreement. I got it on Friday from AmeriGroup. I printed it. That's as far as I've gotten. We will work through that one too when I get the AmeriHealth one done. And the reason we'll do the AmeriGroup one also is because they have talked about at 4 months, so about July, they're going to reassess what it looks like for managed care from their perspective, case management, and whether or not they want to continue to either move forward in taking case management internally or contract. We don't have anybody currently on our caseload that has AmeriGroup, but should they decide to contract with us, Having that agreement will allow us then to take on referrals for people who would choose to have AmeriGroup as their managed care. So we're just trying to position ourselves to help the people in Mahaska County to the best of our ability.
We don't have anybody currently in Mahaska County with them.
Not that we case manage. So that's something that could change in the future, and we want to be ready to provide that assistance. So. Want to stay up here for the HIPAA one too?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We have a proposal from Cross Compliance Solutions to, I guess, go through our, primarily Heather's,
PHI information.
all her information to ensure we're HIPAA compliant and all this stuff, and working with Darren and getting some things in place. And this company does work with the region.
Mm-hmm. And Iowa Association of Counties, they're contracting with them also.
I know the county attorney says he is not in a position to do this, you know what I'm saying?
HIPAA rules are, for the state of Iowa, are more in-depth than federal rules are, and they change fairly often, and to stay on top of it, I don't think, in my opinion, the county is in a really good position to have somebody take that on as part of their job description. And so that's why I think we started having a conversation about an external specialist.
This would be only for 1 year. This would be a 1-year agreement right now to see how this all goes, how this plays out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got successive years on there, but that's...
We can take it 1 year at a time.
We're going to take this first year, and that's what the committee had recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Sue, Jim Blommer, and Darren, and Heather and I met with this gentleman, this Roger, a couple of times, and so there's not a lot of other HIPAA stuff, but they will look at the other offices, everything else kind of combined while they're doing analysis of everything.
So the original proposal was for a comprehensive analysis for all departments.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's going to focus on case management and the Mahaska County.
That's where your biggest liability is at, I guess.
That's what he'll prioritize. He'll come in and do
Yeah.
a physical walkthrough of all of the county, and then he'll prioritize my office because of the PHI information we have, along with making sure we're in compliance with the managed care requirements. So.
Is it the same cost? Is he going to charge the same, whether he's just in one or whether he's doing the whole thing?
Well, that's yeah, because we could separate that out, but I think committee felt the first year we should look at the whole thing and then go from there. Would make sense to me.
I think because we share, it's not so much that I share protective health information necessarily with other parts of the county, it's just that because we work in the same system, it's to our best advantage to have him check to make sure we're good to go. And then on the off chance, which hopefully this would never happen to us, but we have friends to the south that this has happened, where their PHI information has been kidnapped, held hostage, whatever, he would then help us go through the process of getting that information back without it being an additional cost to the county. And depending on the situation, if we felt like we needed to sue that entity or whatever, I think that's part of that. But it's more because we're so moving in a technology-based wireless, or paperless, sorry, not wireless, paperless society, that we're at risk to having our stuff hacked. So. I think the recommendation from the HIPAA committee is to hire him.
Yes, I have no problem with it for 1 year. I don't want to lock in the future years to have less than 8,000 successive years, but do it one time and figure out what our vulnerabilities are.
I And they'll let us know, I mean, of course, we'll keep track of when our contract is up, but they'll also talk to us about 9 months in to see what, if we want to continue, what our needs are, that kind of thing. He's already worked with me a little bit with the MCO stuff, to make sure we're in compliance there, so.
Did he, in the number they come up with for, what it's going to cost, did he give you any idea of how many hours that is? What, I mean, is that an arbitrary number? Where does he come up with his figures?
He basically took an average of what he's done for other counties, and that's what they come in. Some counties require more, some counties require less. So that was his average cost. He did say that they're opening an office in Iowa City, so that's where they'll send their person from, and he'll waive, basically, I think in there it talked about travel stuff. They're not gonna charge us for that.
Okay, it's kind of like this communication thing you just approved. I mean, some of it is actual hours, some of it is expertise, and that's, yeah.
Before signing an ongoing agreement, I mean, before next year, I'd like to have an hourly breakdown. I really wanted to have it for today, but if he's going to be here, I think that we should be paying on an hourly basis with maybe a cap. And
We discussed that with him also, and that was kind of, part of it's their expertise, part of it is because they've done this and know what they're doing, so, and part of it is actual time here. That's
I have a problem approving the first year.
Move to approve the 1-year agreement with Cruise Line Solutions.
So,
motion made and seconded to approve this agreement. I guess could put a number with that. $13,750 with the garage. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have a second reading of ordinance 24, which is a speed limit which runs west of KBOE to the intersection and then north down, what is that, Lincoln, to the stop sign. I would assume to the highway to the stop sign. We had first reading last meeting, so need a motion to open the public hearing. Do we have to have a public hearing again? We just have a second reading. Any? Okay.
make the motion that we approve the second reading of ordinance 24.
Motion made and seconded to support the second reading. In favor, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I haven't received any feedback or this negative feedback on the programs. Do we want to wait for the third hearing?
I would waive the third reading. I did have one guy kind of poked at me for 25 miles an hour, but I said, well, if you leave enough chuck holes in the road, they won't go over 25 anyway. So but I would, you made that motion to waive third reading?
Yeah.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to waive third reading. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Set a hearing date for ordinance number 25, policy for roadway and bridge construction.
The reason for this request for a change in ordinance is to deal with Federal Emergency Management Agency. They now insist that if we replace a bridge, we have to explain why we're replacing it with a certain size and type, and same thing with roadways if they're destroyed. They no longer say we use the state DOT's design information and base sheets and what have you. So all the counties are going through this procedure where they are adopting a design resolution and construction ordinance, so that if we lose structures due to disasters caused by flooding and whatever, that we would be able to go in there and put in a bridge that would meet what our current needs are for today.
Okay. So do we have a date in mind?
When did you have it published? Do we do it? First meeting in May? Is that too soon? Too much going on? We'll do it later. I don't care.
May 2nd?
May 2nd, we can make that work. Is that a motion? Do we need a motion on that?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to set the hearing date for ordinance 25 on roadway and bridge construction for May 2nd. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carried.
We have to have a time.
9
Still 9 o'clock?
o'clock. You want it first thing, you want it later? Dave, make any difference?
Doesn't make a difference.
Let's just do it first thing. Now we have authorized signature on the Haul Road Damages Agreement. Came through last week.
I just gotten an email late Friday from the oil company, and they are requesting that we add, or they want us to look at additional information. So what I brought was, it just has several points on there, and they wanted to know if we could look at that and with the other counties and see what we want, or if we want to change those points. There's 3 or 4 points that they were having a question on as to an amount of time that would be allowed to, after post-inspection, to complete the repairs. One was on the amount that we're going to charge for permit, or for administering the permit. The other one was for the amount of surety bond that we would require to make sure that they do indeed repair any haul roads that they damaged during the time of construction. And so they are asking if we could hold off on it. Also, Mr. Duvall from ISG is not going to be able here because there are still some things that they are getting agreed to as to the charges and what are allowed to be charged for and so on and so forth. So he would not be able to be here. He also had asked to be here when that would be signed and stuff. So at this time, I would like to leave this copy of the changes they have. I've already sent a copy to the auditor and the county attorney to look at that and address it, see if they have any concerns. In that, I would like to resubmit it at the next board meeting that we have.
Okay. Sounds all right. Anything else? Okay. We have a easement agreement request, comes from Lyle Nunnicoven. Sharon Nunnicoven seems they go through the county farm to get a piece of property. They farm on the backside because they used to have access and don't because of a bridge. I don't know exactly what all that involves, but since that was coming up for sale, they had sent us this, wanting to know, I guess they want our approval of this easement before the farm sells, but I don't know, I really don't know if I talked to Jim a little bit about it, and he said, well, they've been doing it for years. It kind of falls under the old practices, and I talked a little bit to Scott. They're gracious enough to let them go through. They go through to get there. It's not just a path along the fence. They have to go through some planted crops to get there, and I thought if it was a path along the fence, it's one thing, but when you're going through some guy's crops to get there, I'm hesitant to agree to this, I guess. Just offhand, I don't know what you guys think. The little information I had about it, I just talked to Scott a little bit ago, and that's...
I talked to Lyle, like, I sent an email up to Jim, and Jim, I talked to Lyle, and Lyle got with his attorney and said, have them draft it and send it, and said short notice, it can be done. But that's been the common practice over the last, I don't know, however many, he said about 20 or 30 years it's been that way. And the county's worked with them on it. I guess I don't want to cut off access to his, for him getting to his place if there's no other way to get through there.
Yeah, and they probably have some sort of common law easement anyway, being this way, the only way they have access, and so probably private. I mean, that's our sale, should have changed that, so. How big a parcel is it? You know?
Well,
We're trying to get-
15 acres, something, Scott, or not?
It's only 15 or 20, and they
Yeah.
go, they take a lane back to the west side of the farm, and they probably cross a field that's about 20 acres in size, but they have to probably cover, I don't know, 700-800 feet of through crops to get there. There's probably a concern, I would think, to potential buyers, if this wasn't maybe out there having a bid would be a concern maybe that you should think about.
Well, you guys' pleasure.
I kind of see it that way. Thinking about that, people who have submitted their bids and not knowing that. Lyle got word that we were selling the county farm and wanted to make sure that he had access to it. If there's already a common law one in place, I guess, I don't know. I don't want this to change. I guess I'm not in trends.
Yeah.
They've heard of Mike in there.
No, I haven't really looked through it. It probably needs to be, Jim needs to, maybe get an opinion from him, I'm thinking. I mean, they're gonna have access one way or the other, either we approve this or they're, I assume they have really no other route to get there. Like they've been doing this for some time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we allow bidders to pull their bid or make them aware of it. Or we auction, but I mean, yeah, we didn't advertise it as part of this, subject to this agreement or easement.
So I wasn't even aware of it, I guess. Now, what little bit I talked to Jim was that it's been that way a long time. It's kind of hard, like you say, it's common law, whatever it is, but that may be something that has to be worked out.
Yeah, I think we have to give bidders the opportunity to pull their bid because they weren't aware of it. And see if they want to pull.
I'll make a motion on the table, so we have to talk about it at the next meeting, pending advisement from Jim.
Motion made and supported to table the request for easement. All in favor, say aye.
Another, while we're kind of on the topic here, somebody asked me if we're gonna guarantee the last payment, because it's, somebody could walk away, it's not that anybody would, just, I think the trustees rents it, but they didn't know if we were gonna guarantee that last payment or not.
Well,
If we don't, I said I'd bring it up.
I would think we would. I guess that's between them and Scott, but whoever buys it, but Scott, and they've been very faithful. I'm not too worried about Scott leaving town.
I'm not either, but.
We did have that happen once, so it's a possibility, but,
That's fine, we can go forward without guaranteeing it.
yeah.
How do you guys read that, how it's going to split out the last payment? Will it just be the last payment that's made based off of
Well,
date of ownership, or is it going to be prorated, or?
So we got the first payment and the buyer will get the second payment. So we set up a week.
yeah, I guess I wasn't under that understanding, because I thought since they were buying it starting the beginning of the crop year, they'd get the full crop year payment, but I guess I missed that one.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was,
So,
what did the post bid say?
The most equitable way would be to prorate it out over a 12-month period, divided by however months that we have it, however many months that the new owner owns it, and pay them monthly basis.
Well, they're gonna have it for the full year because they close it by June 1, and so we're talking about all of next year anyway. being over for selling property.
The lease, including any payments due from the tenant, shall be assigned to the purchaser from the date of purchase of parcel one. Real estate taxes shall be prorated, et cetera. So,
Makes it
that
sound
what
like
you
it's
want?
gonna be prorated.
No, it doesn't. The taxes are prorated. The way I thought it was written is any, and the way Jim said it was any future payments that are outstanding are assigned to the buyer.
You guys want to go back?
I think that's it. What you just read.
yeah, I think that's all there is. We assigned purchase with the date of purchase, so is that next week, or is that when it closes?
I think when it closes. I think. Do we already have first payment? Yeah, we already got the first one. We're talking about second payment here, and so anything future is covered by it. And taxes are prorated, but we're talking, it's gonna be exempt for a little while until it catches up.
Yeah.
So,
Their taxes will start from the day it closes,
yeah, but it's, this tax year is
so there's nothing.
owned by us, so
Yeah.
it's nothing, so it won't be going to taxes.
No.
Down the road, as far as I know.
Okay, next one is open bids for Oskaloosa County farm property. You give that to me. We'll take them from the top. If I can get my, there you go. I got one, I couldn't make it go. Parcel one. This is an offer to purchase real estate, $3,878 per acre for 314 acres from Leroy Grenadine and Dan Nusma and Brandon Grenadine. See that? Let's try to stay with one if we can. Okay, we have a bid from Wild Nunnicoven, parcel one, 314 acres, $3,200 an acre. One from Scott and Sandra Van Veldhuizen for $2,400 an acre. And is that what that was, right? Yeah, that goes in that one. This is parcel two, that's parcel two. Let's stick with, see what this one is. It doesn't say. If this is a one or a two. Okay, we have one, this one here is a total purchase price of $502,000 $400 from Nordheisen. Keith and Julie from Nordheisen. For 314 acres, back that back out, however that is. That one goes with it. Pardon me? One parcel. One parcel.
Parcel one.
Yep. Yep. Now. Okay, then we have one on parcel 2.
It's on,
Crystal Phillips and Steve Phillips for $100. We also have another bid on parcel 2. Yeah. There you go. It's a bid from Leroy Grunendijk for $500 on parcel 2. And so we have 4 and 2, would that be correct? And next, these people will be contacted and next Monday, is that when we're doing this? 11th? What time? 10 o'clock next Monday morning, we'll convene here, and people will be given the opportunity to raise their bids.
how are we giving them notice?
Does that have to be written, or can we make phone calls? That's Jim?
I think we're gonna make phone calls.
Yeah. Okay.
And then somebody had asked the order in which we're going to. We're gonna do the tillable first. Did anybody bid on the tillable on parcel 1?
There's a separate one. There's a separate one for Grunendijks.
That's right. So I think they asked if we do the tillable first, so that people know who gets that, so it may affect how they want to do parcel 1. I don't know. That was all.
Nah, I don't know. The parcel 2 is, I think it'll take care, I don't know, putting together.
Oh, no, I'm not saying put them together. I'm saying.
You want to do 2 first or 1 first?
Do parcel 1 first, do the tillable.
Okay.
if we can do it.
Okay.
And now, if
And that's
you know
fine.
who has it, which will
They have that option. Okay.
They may want to do the parcel 2.
I can. Okay.
Is it maybe 2 separate agenda items then?
Yeah, they still need to be separate, but just the order.
The order.
But I mean on the agenda.
Yeah, they probably do, because this is under work.
Parcel 1.
Parcel 1 will be done first, and then parcel 2. Okay?
So how are we going to do the bidding process? And who's gonna, are you overseeing that, or?
Me or Jim?
Okay.
We will.
And then I assume the top bidder, he's going to be allowed to withdraw his bid, because we're going to indicate at the meeting that it's subject to that easement or possibly subject to that
We're
easement.
gonna have to bring that out. Yeah. You're gonna have to be aware of it. And, so,
There's a cemetery easement there too.
that's, yeah. That's there along that road. That's not a problem, I don't think. It's right along the road that goes back there.
I don't know where we're going to close this to. I don't know if we're going to mow. But before it closes, we need to contact somebody to do that.
Okay.
Depends when it closes. I'm going to close the June 1st.
Anything else? Last item, any public comments? Okay, motion to adjourn. Oh, yes. Oh, I thought you were leaving. I thought you were leaving. I'm sorry. I am sorry.
I have a very short one, that's
I
okay. Well,
apologize.
I know. That's okay, that's okay.
My name's Beth Yanowski. I'm a part of the Mahaska Community Development Group. I'm part of the Sixth Corner Board. I'm also part of One Mahaska. And I just want to make a really short statement to the board, and also just a statement for the good of the public who view these meetings. As you know, the local option sales tax ballot is coming up in about a month, and as we approach that, people get very interested and have a lot of questions about the project. So offer is, if you have people who are asking you questions and want information about the projects, I'm happy to share information with people. They can call the chamber office, or they can get on the onemahaska.com site. There's information about the ballot, and they can also ask a question. So just any interest in getting people informed, I'll make that offer.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Sorry about that.
That's fine.
That's too long.
Do we want to give a recommendation of the board as far as what we suggested to do for the vote, or not?
Are the absentee ballots, are there going to be absentee ballots available for that? What date?
Probably not till the 18th. That's when we get them.
The 18th.
I don't know if we wanted to give a recommendation on what we want for residents to vote on or not.
I don't think it's our job to take a position on, I guess, but we put it out there.
As a board or as individuals?
I think
the
both.
individual position that I'd share with anybody.
No, yeah,
As
that's
far as from the board perspective,
I mean, we can, within our right to pass a resolution of saying what our recommendation is. I don't know if there's any willingness to do that or not. That's how I check.
Well, if you want it on the agenda, next time we can discuss it. Anybody else? Motion adjourned. All in favor? Aye.